President Trump is set to host his first White House meeting with a foreign leader since returning to office. He's scheduled to meet with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu tomorrow. Netanyahu says he plans to discuss Israel's, quote, victory over Hamas. The meeting comes just days after American Keith Siegel returned home after more than 400 days as a hostage in Gaza. Video of Siegel's family greeting him on his return home has already been viewed millions of times on social media. And Keith Siegel's niece, Hanna Siegel, is here with more on that. Hanna, thank you for joining us. I'm sure it's a very busy time for your family, so we appreciate you coming on. It's been a little more than 48 hours now since your uncle came home. How's he doing?
Thank you so much for having me, first of all. He's doing okay. You know, he's a little weak and he's a little thin, but he's doing remarkably well, all things considered, and we're incredibly grateful for that.
Your father is Keith's brother. Have you guys had a chance to see him and spend some time with him yet?
We are staggering family visits, so my dad is on his way now, and I'll go soon. But as you saw in the video, his kids and his wife, Aviva, who was held with him for the first 7 weeks before she was released in the November 2023 deal, are there with him now.
And some of your family members are also expected to give a statement later today. Can you tell us anything about the message they're hoping to deliver?
I think what we've learned over this past 15 months is that it's only diplomacy and political agreement that is going to bring the rest of the hostages home. There are dozens still being held, including 2 live Americans and 3 deceased Americans, unfortunately, who are waiting to reunite with their families, just like we've had the chance to do. So we're really, really encouraging everybody involved to keep the ceasefire going. I want to say that the Biden team worked with us relentlessly, tirelessly for months and months and months. And then the minute that President Trump was elected, Steve Witkoff, Adam Boehler, President Trump, they jumped in. They worked hand in glove with the Biden team to get this done, along with help from the Qatari government and NGOs. There are NGOs that help families and that facilitate parts of the negotiations. Global Reach, Mickey Bergman, Stacia George, Eric Lebson. This was such a team effort. And so we know it can be done, and we just need to keep it going.
Now, we had you on, Hanna, to mark 1 year since October 7th. And at the time, you were highly critical of Prime Minister Netanyahu's handling of this situation. How do you feel now that your uncle is home, but many other hostages are still in Gaza?
I think that it's imperative that the Trump team, and I have total faith that they'll do this, continue to push President Netanyahu and Hamas to keep the deal. I said before that President Netanyahu's political incentives weren't necessarily aligned with a deal. I worry that that's still the case, but I do think that there are a lot of people led by President Trump and the Trump team that understand how imperative it is. And so, we're calling on them to keep pushing, keep the ceasefire going, get every single hostage home.
And Hanna, anything you hope to say to your uncle when you do get a chance to see him?
It's going to be surreal. This has been an incredible weekend. The support that we've seen from people all over the world has been overwhelming in the best possible way. But I just want to tell him that I love him, and I'm so glad he's back.
Well, Hanna, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story with us. We wish you and your family and, of course, your uncle the best. So glad he's home.
Thank you so much for having me.